WNBA finals. And so I'll leave it there. I mean, I'm just obviously disheartened. I'm a human too. I have a family. I have 2 kids who are devastated by these comments. And so all I'll say is just, it's obviously been a tough week. And
shockwave just tore through the WNBA, shaking the league to its very core. 3 of its most dazzling headliners, Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark, and Lexie Hull, have allegedly inked jaw-dropping European deals, hurling the league into absolute meltdown. Forget your typical off-season gossip. This isn't a story. It's a warning shot at the heart of women's basketball in America. Historians might one day call this the moment everything changed. The scale of this bombshell can't be exaggerated. Caitlin Clark, fresh off a record-breaking rookie year that turned every game into a sold-out spectacle, walking away? That's not just one player leaving. It's a glowing neon sign screaming the league's money system is broken. And when Sophie Cunningham, the WNBA's most magnetic and sponsor-friendly star, bails too, marketing teams and corporate partners everywhere are suddenly hitting the panic button. And then there's Lexie Hull, the face of the next-gen WNBA talent pool, bouncing overseas before even hitting her prime. That move screams the issue isn't just about frustrated veterans. It's a full-blown system failure. What started as faint whispers in locker rooms quickly detonated into a league-wide roar that no one could ignore. Suddenly, reports of secret negotiations flooded in, climaxing in a bombshell revelation that rocked the entire basketball universe and left both fans and execs clutching their phones in disbelief. Insiders spilled that these high-stakes talks had been simmering for months, carried out under total lockdown with the help of elite global agents known for brokering multi-million-dollar European contracts. The first clues? They slipped out back in late summer, when eagle-eyed fans spotted odd social media moves, cryptic captions, mysterious big news coming posts, all shrugged off at first as harmless off-season chatter or maybe a new shoe deal brewing. But behind all that calm social media noise, a full-blown thriller was brewing in secret. European club execs had been quietly slipping into the U.S., setting up hush-hush meetings in fancy hotel suites and private homes, sliding across folders filled with jaw-dropping offers that made WNBA salaries look like pocket change. Insiders who dared to talk, off the record of course, described a masterclass in elite-level recruitment. These weren't your average basketball teams. They were powerhouse European organizations backed by billionaire investors who saw the perfect storm forming. WNBA ratings higher than ever, but players still cashing in crumbs. Their strategy? Strike while America's league was distracted. And they didn't just dangle contracts, they pitched entire lifestyles. Luxury apartments, chauffeurs, private chefs, all-inclusive perks. The agents running this show weren't your everyday WNBA reps either. They were international dealmakers seasoned in high-stakes negotiations across soccer, tennis, and global hoops. They knew every trick, work visas, tax loopholes, payout structuring, to make these offers both airtight and impossible to turn down. Their sales line hit like a gut punch. 3 years in Europe will make you more than a lifetime in the WNBA. And just like that, this wasn't about passion for the game anymore. It was about survival, power, and cold. Hard numbers exposing how deep the WNBA's money problem really runs. While WNBA salaries crawl in the low 6 figures, even for their biggest stars, European teams are out here throwing around movie star money, double, triple, sometimes even quadruple what the league can offer, plus penthouse housing, private cars, and luxury perks that make U.S. contracts look like high school allowances. The numbers alone expose a brutal truth the WNBA's been trying to spin for years. A top-tier American star might pull $200K to $250K a season, but overseas? Players most fans have never even heard of are banking $500,000, and the elite ones? They're brushing 7 figures with ease. Add bonuses, tax breaks, and all-expense-paid living, and the math becomes crystal clear. Europe isn't a detour. It's the jackpot. And it doesn't stop at salary. Those teams roll out the red carpet, skyline apartments, chauffeured rides, first-class family travel, private chefs, free healthcare, tutors, even cushy jobs for partners. Some signing bonuses alone match an entire WNBA paycheck, with performance incentives worth hundreds of thousands more. American franchises simply can't compete. Now picture this: a WNBA player earning $200K, minus taxes, agent cuts, rent, training, food, and healthcare. Suddenly, that behind the closed doors of WNBA headquarters, things got messy, fast. Executives were blindsided, furious that these secret talks had gone so far without a single leak. Some claimed they'd seen warning signs but brushed them off, assuming player frustration would blow over. It didn't. What followed was pure boardroom chaos. Half the room wanted to go nuclear. Lawyers, lawsuits, career-ending penalties, the whole 9 yards. The other half begged for calm, warning that going full attack dog on their own stars would blow up in their faces, turning Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull into martyrs overnight. The divide at the top mirrored the league's identity crisis itself: panic, denial, and desperation all colliding in real time. The legal team didn't sugarcoat it. The WNBA couldn't legally cage its players. Contract clauses or not, you can't stop athletes from chasing jobs overseas, not without inviting a courtroom disaster that would make the league look powerless and petty. And even if they tried, they didn't have the money to fight it. Financial advisors made it painfully clear. Europe's deep pockets weren't just beating the WNBA, they were embarrassing it. A few big market owners wanted to spend more to keep talent home, but the smaller franchises were hanging on by a thread. Raising salaries could sink them entirely. Meanwhile, PR experts were waving red flags everywhere. Attack the players and you'll lose the public, they warned. Stay silent and you'll look weak. Make empty promises and you'll look like liars. Every option was a trap. How do you calm fans, defend the league, and still look like the good guys? The answer? You don't. The emergency Zoom meetings with owners only deepened the mess. Big city teams called for drastic pay raises to protect their image. Small market teams begged for mercy. There was no unity, no plan, just fear. And then came the twist. Was this all a coordinated power move? Leaked messages hinted that the trio's rebellion wasn't random at all, but the product of years of quiet frustration finally erupting. Turns out, these women had been plotting for nearly 2 years, ever since yet another round of improvement talks went nowhere. What started as venting between friends turned into a full-on strategic mission. They hired labor lawyers, talked to athletes from other sports, and dissected Europe's financial systems like pros. The timing? Perfectly calculated. Just months after the WNBA bragged about record ratings and massive TV deals, these stars decided to expose the truth. All that growth wasn't reaching the players. This wasn't greed. It was rebellion wrapped in professionalism. Their message couldn't have been clearer. Pay us what we're worth, or watch your stars walk right out the door. These athletes had finally had enough of being told they should just be grateful to even have a job. Enough of swallowing excuses that women's sports just aren't profitable yet. And enough of waiting for loyalty points that never paid out. For years, they'd watched league profits soar while their paychecks stayed stuck in the same sad lane. So this time, they moved together, strategically, not emotionally. They knew one player leaving could be shrugged off, but 3 walking out? That's an earthquake. Their exit was timed like a PR masterclass, statements dropping within hours, lighting up headlines nonstop. Each line crafted, each word weaponized. And yes, they'd hired pros to spin it perfectly. Not rebellion, but a righteous stand for fairness. Behind closed doors, private messages told the real story. Months of planning, fears of fan backlash, and worries about losing sponsor money. They knew this might nuke their future chances at cushy coaching or media gigs, but they didn't care. The risk, they decided, was worth the revolution. And the spark caught fire fast. Other WNBA players didn't join the walkout publicly, but trust me, their DMs were lit. Team group chats turned into strategy meetings. Some started Googling European League salaries, others just watched and waited. But almost everyone agreed, these 3 weren't villains. They were the wake-up call the league refused to hear. Then came the chaos. Social media turned into a war zone of hot takes. Was this the start of a mass walkout? Who's next to bail? Sports pundits went feral, fans made betting pools over which star would vanish next, and franchises panicked as analysts named the most likely to lose list like it was doomsday bingo. Within 2 days, at least 7 more WNBA All-Stars were getting calls from overseas. Agents' phones melted from constant pings. Spain, Italy, Turkey, France, Russia, you name it. Europe smelled blood, and they moved fast. In hours, they turned the league's nightmare into their golden opportunity. Negotiations shifted overnight. Every player suddenly had leverage the league couldn't ignore. General managers scrambled for reassurance, dialing their stars with fake calm voices and shaky promises. But the replies were ice cold. Loyalty, the players said, has to go both ways. The players said, has to go both ways.